A man that needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. Eddie Hearn, ready here to go. As always, at the heartbeat of boxing, you've been a part of some incredible spectacles. Where does this weigh up?
Oh, this is right up there. I mean, the Undisputed Heavyweight World Championship. It's everything for the sport, everything for the division. You know, one of our own in Tyson Fury, well, one of our country's own.
I like it.
Yeah.
And
Alexander Usyk, you know, one of the greatest fighters of the generation. This fight is everything, you know. For us, we got Joe Cordina, Jai Opatara on the card, but for the main event, I'm really here as a fan. You know, I'm here to watch one of the great fights and great moments of the sport.
Tell me about both of the fighters that, of course, you represent in terms of Joe Cordina, first of all, and then we can get on to Jai Opatara.
Yeah, great fight. I mean, look, it really whets the appetite for the Matchroom Queensbury 5v5. Cordina against Kakachi. It's a really good fight. You know, Joe, I think he's the best 130-pounder in the world. Kakachi's a talented fighter. And look out for Jai Opatara against Maris Bradis. You know, that first fight was Fight of the Year contender. Bradis broke Opatara's jaw in 2 places, and they had a 12-round war. Since then, Opatara's looked incredible, you know, against Zorro and against Jordan Thompson, but this is a proper fight. So 2 big fights for our guys, and then the main event, and then back for Catchell Taylor next week, and then back for the 5v5.
Back again?
Oh, no. So can't wait.
We might as well still live here at this point.
Exactly.
I want to know in terms of your perspective, because I sat down with Jai this week and he's incredibly locked in. I did get a smile out of him, though.
Well done.
Thank you. Take that on the record, by the way. But what he did turn around and say to me, this is round 13. I'm going to pick up exactly where I left off. Do you expect fireworks from the beginning?
I hope so, because then you're in for a treat. You know, as I said, the first fight was incredible. It was a grueling, tough fight. I really feel like Jai has improved since then. But he has been fighting at a level below Bradis since then in those 2 fights. So he's got his hands full, but I think he wants that. I think he wants a war. Do you know what I mean? The last 2 fights have been quite straightforward for him. So ready to do battle on Saturday night.
And then dive into Cordina versus Kakachi. I mean, incredible amount of respect between both fighters. I love the trainers in terms of both corners as well, what they represent. But what makes you feel like Joe is the best 130-pounder in the world?
I just feel like speed, power, you know, his punch power was underrated. We saw the knockout of Agawa. People said, yeah, but he's a bit of a pretty boy. Can he really get in the trenches? He did that against Rakimov. So he's got the ability to do everything. But Kakachi's an accomplished fighter, but never really boxed at this level before on this stage. Joe gave an interview yesterday. He said, you know, I boxed on Joshua Klitschko, Joshua Parker, Kell Brook against Errol Spence, Lomachenko against Campbell. He's headlined twice in Cardiff. Like, he's used to the big occasion. Kakachi's got to deal with that on Saturday night, and the speed and the sharpness of Joe Cordina.
And now I get to dive into Eddie Hearn, the fan, for a second.
Yeah.
The main event. You see the smile? He knows exactly what it means in terms of the heavyweight landscape.
Changing my mind, you know.
So tell me how you're feeling today.
I spoke to a few people today in the Tyson Fury camp, and they feel very confident that it's been the best camp ever. He's in the best shape he's ever been in. And I feel like if he is, he wins on Saturday night. But it's how the fight plays out. You know, I think the fact that he's come in light, I think he's going to be looking to move a lot in the fight and actually box off the back foot. The problem in doing that against Alexander Usyk is, although Usyk is a good counter-puncher, he's also good at applying pressure, coming in, moving the angles, and he throws a lot of punches. He's a volume puncher. So you can't just move off the back foot and flick out the jab and pot shot and hold. You've got to be competing with the punch output of Usyk. And one thing we know about Usyk is his engine's unbelievable. So I actually think that this fight is going to be Fury fighting defensively and Usyk fighting aggressively, which last week I changed my mind on and thought if Fury comes out aggressively, he could win this fight by stoppage. To be honest with you, I'm now confusing myself, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to go Fury points, you know, for a number of reasons. Back in the Brit, want him to fight AJ, and I do think the bigger man in this situation should win, but you can't rule out Usyk. You know, cold as they come, and you know, emotionless, Alexander Usyk.
As always, Eddie Hearn, always a pleasure.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you for making my life nice and easy, man.